Modern men have no courage. Courage is something men used to pride themselves in. It was lumped into chivalry, part of being a man. But now you don't even have the courage to go talk to a girl? None of you are approaching women. None of you seem confident. And coming from a girl, I swear to you, all it takes is a little bit of courage to stand out. Yes, the gym is going to help. Yes, fashion is going to help. Yes, you need to be a good man. But none of that is going to matter if you're not willing to put yourself out there. Are you going to fail on many approaches? Absolutely. But who cares? I know it hurts, but what else are you going to do? Continue to watch dating content that you never put to use? You have so much more control over your own destiny here. I'm too short, I'm too poor, modern women aren't worth it, feminism ruined everything, are just a bunch of lame-ass, cop-out excuses.
You serious?
This gentleman is Billie Rae Brant, a YouTuber I normally have no problems with. She makes content that is normally pretty male positive, male focused. She's effectively a female in the manosphere space, and she's done very well for herself. Last time I checked, she has at least over 400,000 subscribers, and that's just here on YouTube. Who knows how many TikTok followers she has, and God only knows how many people follow her on Instagram. But today is the first time I've heard her say something that is absolutely antithetical to her previous content. You see, Billie, chivalry's dead, and feminism killed it. While women who claim up and down to not be effeminists, as I'll refer to them for the rest of the video, to not get in trouble with YouTube's algorithm, just stood by and watched. These effeminists with their blue hair and their nose rings, they took the unspoken social contract between men and women, lit it on fire, and danced around it holding hands in a circle, screaming death to the patriarchy. It had an impact. For the past 100 years, we've been told that they don't need us, they don't like us, they don't want us. And it ramped up really heavy in the 60s and now on forward. See, not to mention the fact that, me personally, my recommendation to all men, young and old, is to not dare approach a female in this climate without that female giving you mountains of unmistakable choosing signals, softening that potential approach. See, this is a problem for me because I normally like Billie Rae's content. And I'm going to leave a link down to her channel so you guys can check it out, see what I'm talking about. Up to this right here, everything she's made thus far, within reason, has been reasonable, has been male focused, and has been male positive. I don't know what happened here. Maybe she got a phone call from a friend of hers who was wearing yoga pants and nobody was staring at her. Nobody was giving her the attention that she thought she desired and craved and deserved. And so women do have a such thing that we men don't have. And that's female in-group preference, meaning that without very many exceptions, all women are on the same team. And so she got frustrated for a friend, perhaps. Out comes this video. Well, I say women have done the damage to themselves. They've done the damage to themselves telling men that we don't have the right to talk to them, look at them. They don't owe us a smile. They don't owe us jack shit, according to them. So men are dynamic. Men adapt to an ever-changing climate, which is why we have different kinds of clothes for different seasons. We adapt to different types of structures and shelters, which is why you have some places have screen doors and screened-in front porches, and some places are locked down behind steel reinforced concrete. We men have to adapt to the world around us and the ever-changing variables therein. And when women decide to make themselves an ever-shifting variable, then we as men have to adapt to that difficulty as well. And we have. Here's one of, oh my God, what must be millions of examples of what men are dealing with out here when it comes to trying to approach women they find attractive. Roll the clip.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot and it went fine. And I'm going to tell you why it went fine and how to address it, because it was in a book I read and this is how you're supposed to address it, but it scared me. I'm literally shaking. So this guy, I am alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, "Excuse me, miss," and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And before he was probably 30 feet from me when he said, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I turned around and I literally yelled at him and I said, "Do not approach me." And he immediately started going in the other direction. And I just kept saying it over and over and over. I said,
yeah, this chick is crazy, bro. Like medicate me immediately style crazy.
"Do not approach me. Do not approach me." And he, of course, got what the F, like, he started cussing and yelling, like, what's your problem? And I looked at him, and he actually then crossed a couple cars down from my car, and he didn't come anywhere near me. He crossed a couple cars down from my car and was like, continuing to cuss and say, what's your problem? And I said, you do not approach women in a parking lot. I just kept saying, do not approach me. You do not approach women in a parking lot, like, yelling it. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot, ever. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. And if a male does approach you, you need to turn around and use the strongest voice that you can possibly use with them. Don't be polite. They need to literally screw off. No male should be approaching you no male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. Ever. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. And if a male does approach you, you need to turn around and use the strongest voice that you can possibly use with them. Don't be polite. They need to literally screw off. No male should be approaching you in a...
So you heard it here from this delightful little misandrist who can't quite seem to understand why a man would come and try to see what her situation is. There's no ring on her finger. This woman is... Unless the camera's inverted and she's married, but she didn't say she's married. She didn't say she had a boyfriend. She didn't say she's in a relationship. She didn't say anything. She just screamed at the guy she did not know, who was far enough away from her to close the distance in a football game, NFL style football for my guys who live overseas, would have to constitute a first down. 30 feet. That's quite a distance running backs spend their entire careers trying to attain for millions of dollars a pop. And she's up here making a spectacle of herself. Looking through that window over her shoulder, it's a bright, sunny day. She's outside. Most of these shopping centers have cameras all in the parking lot. There's a very, very strong likelihood the man meant you no harm. He was probably approaching you because, by all intents and purposes, you fit the classical European beauty standards. Pale skin, you seem relatively thin, blonde hair. Despite the fact he walked up to a chick with a kid, that was stupid because now you're trying to be a stepdaddy simp. What the hell's wrong with that guy? But beyond that, though, he wanted to make his approach, and maybe he saw you inside the store, and maybe you were a couple people ahead of him in line when y'all were checking out, and he couldn't get a chance to talk to you inside the store, so he followed you outside to maybe get your phone number, who knows. But to have you respond that way, he took off because, again, even if he had the most benevolent of intentions, we know that these women expect you to be this guy. John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, the most powerful telepath on DC's Earth, founding member of the Justice League. Or this guy, Professor Charles Xavier, planet Earth's most powerful telepath in the Marvel Universe, founder of the X-Men. See, these guys have a power that don't exist in real life. The ability to read minds. And that's what these women expect you to do. They expect you to know that you aren't attracted to me. And if you aren't attracted to me, you're being creepy. Harassment isn't what it used to be, fellas. There's a tiered system. If you look good and they have you in their bedroom, you're not harassing them. But if you don't meet the standard in her head that you have no idea what those metrics are, it's a call to human resources, quite possibly your career or the police. And they're building for themselves a world they won't want to live in for long. A world where men just stop giving a shit what happens to them. And good Samaritans go the way of the dodo bird.
Leave me alone. Why do you keep following me? It's honestly so creepy, and I'm going to call the cops.
Man, no.
Because you guys aren't leaving me alone, and that's why women can't go out in the world by themselves, because of guys like you.
What?
Okay? So stop following me.
You have, I don't know if you have like a gas, you have a thing hanging out of your car.
What are you talking about?
There's literally a gas hose hanging out of your car. No one's being creepy. Oh. No, thank you. I guess.
Thank you very much.
There's the thank you. That's. She's what? She's taking it with her. She doesn't have. Make sure to get all of it. Oh, dude. I didn't even close the gas cap. She's out of here.
What an amazing thing to watch. Several tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years, women have been the object of our affection. They've been the goal for many men to try to build their lives around, to accommodate and accomplish. And in just 110 years, you've become these things that we shake our heads at and marvel at their incompetence. Marvel at your inability to understand the gravity of the technology we've given you, the quality of life we've afforded you, and the protection you buck against every chance you get. What's terrible about this is the fact that women have built the world we're going to force them to live in a world completely devoid of male compassion, devoid of male rescue. And this is unfortunate because it didn't have to be this way. It's not the world we wanted to live in. All we want to do is love you, take care of you, have a few babies maybe. But nope, you've become these insufferable creatures that we're best to stay away from by your own design and by your own wishes. And the thing about it is, to Billie, this is me trying to start some internet beef. I don't want to do that. That's not what I started this channel to do. But I am amazed that you had such a remarkably bad take on this situation, that men are out here just cowering in fear as if women had no part to play in all this. We have a right to protect themselves. We have a right to be wanted by the women who want us back. And when they, that is to say, modern 21st century Western women, start meeting us halfway, then maybe things will change. That said, that's my time. Like the video, comment down below. Share with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.